Hey everyone, it's Sonya here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today for another episode of the Fresh Approach Wellness podcast series. Today is episode 167, and we have another heart to heart for you. And for those that are not familiar with heart to heart means we are recording this the same time we're doing the audio of this. So you'll be able to go to YouTube. The link will be in the show notes, and you can see the beautiful guests I have with me today. So, Mackenzie, please take a minute to introduce yourself.
Oh my goodness. And my, my dog felt the need to introduce herself as well. So my apologies. I have an 8-month-old puppy, y'all, and it is, as much as a child sometimes, I swear. But so, yes, as you said, I am Mackenzie, aka Coach Mack. So that's what most people refer to me as. And I am a health coach. I founded my health coaching company. It's called Running with Bacon. And that usually draws a lot of giggles and it's a conversation starter. So we can start there if you want. But I have my coaching company and yeah, working for myself, helping women get and stay fit and strong.
Okay, yeah, we have to. How can we not start with the title? Let's go there.
For sure. Yes, it is something. So when I was
Oh,
thinking up,
wait.
yes,
Wait, I have to interrupt. Just a real life
yes,
moment here, guys.
yes.
I forgot to share this with you. I made a note. Write this down. Hashtag Hannah and Gizmo. I'm going to spell it. Hashtag HANNAHANDGIZMO. Hannah and Gizmo. That is my dog's hashtags.
Oh my gosh.
So if you don't hashtag your dog, really, I can't say you love them.
Well, it's
So
hilarious you say that. As soon as we got our puppy, I started her an Instagram account because I was like, I know everyone in my family and my friends, while I love all the puppy spam, I don't know if they do. So I started her own account that I could put all the puppy spam on. So she's a little bit of a diva and has her own account.
So there you go. And if you want us to see it, add my hashtag for hashtag Hannah and Gizmo. And Mackenzie, what's your hashtag for your pup?
She's at Lyra the Malinois because she's a Belgian Malinois.
Okay, so we're gonna add
Yep.
these to the show notes because this, my friends, is what pulls us into a community. This is what makes us align with one another, and this is the reason why you are still listening to this show. Is you're laughing, you're giggling, we're sharing a real life moment here. Two people that never knew each other before this episode, hashtag their pets. That is alignment.
Dog lovers unite.
All right, Mackenzie, you go continue. Sorry about the interruption. I was having a moment.
That's okay. Like I said, Lyra's interruptions were all it's okay. But yeah, so I started my company and I was trying to come up with a fun name because I was like, health to me, healthy should be fun. Like if it's not, who wants to do it? So I was trying to come up with a way that could kind of convey my fun coaching style, the high energy that I bring, but isn't like a traditional, I don't know, like super intense, heck yeah, burpees and you want to throw up after every workout. Like I didn't want that vibe. I wanted the fun, you can do this with everyday life kind of vibe. And I had actually just grown to love running. I used to hate it, even as a soccer player. I hated conditioning. It was my least favorite part, but I had grown to love running in kind of my post athlete life. And I also love food. I mean, who doesn't? And so I was trying to come up with, a fun way to put it all together. And it just kind of dawned on me one day that like running with bacon. And then I even I think I had the cartoon idea first. I had this little girl, cartoon girl with bacon. She was running and like dangling bacon into her mouth. And so that was my initial thought of what it would look like and just fun. And so then it stuck. And now whenever clients get their, receipts and stuff and it's from running with bacon, I'm like, yep, that's for real. That's me.
I love how authentic you are in describing you and your business, even putting it together. And I've done the same thing with mine. And I want to talk about this in just a second because there's so much I want to break down there. But I have another hashtag for you all. And again, this we couldn't have planned this if we tried. Like I have another hashtag for you. So after 4 years in physio, and I know, I am ready to release this story. but it just adds so much more to it. So pre-COVID, I was teaching 23 fitness classes a week. I
Whoa.
was training 2 years prior. I was training for and running. I did 2 10s. Sorry, 2 10s. Okay, I don't remember. I did a triathlon. I think it was 2 10s, 2 5s, and a 60K bike ride in a triathlon
Oh my gosh.
in
That's a
6 months
lot.
between Father's Day and Thanksgiving in Canada, which is June and October.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
So I went from that
Dang, girl.
to spending 4 years in physio for bilateral Achilles tendinopathy.
Wow.
For those that are not familiar, that is your tendons on both of your ankles were just about ready at any time to rupture. It took movement to go to the bathroom. I remember the day I was on crutches, we tried a cortisone shot and I couldn't even get myself water that day.
Oh man.
I had to share with Tony, like the one thing was I couldn't even drink my water. So now I'm straight, my energy's off. And the next day he had water bottles all over the house before he left for work
Oh,
for me to drink. Because
cute.
I got so sick from the cortisone shot. So what I'm getting at here is I'm to the point now where I'm running again. Okay. But we're still in Canada here, guys. Like it snowed earlier this week. I think we're calling for a snowstorm tomorrow. We're sitting at 9 degrees Celsius right now. But in the day of this recording is March 23rd, 2023. Although it's not going to be played until June or July, I'm giving you context as to the elements, the excuses, the wetness, the things that get in the way. But I signed up for a 5K in April and I signed up for a 10K in June. I
Yes,
have a training
girl.
program. I can finally run again. I have a training program that I've put together. So anytime you're running for training, Mackenzie, anytime any of you are running for training, I have a hashtag.
Yes.
And the more we can grow this community, the more we can support people to giving it a shot. Because that's all we're asking for today. And neither one of us care who you reach out to about which questions. Give it a
Yes.
shot. Be
Yes.
curious. What if you
100%.
walked that 5K? Be curious and see what changes. I came across a lady who I've known for about 4 years now, and I've never seen her smile as brightly as her crossing a 5K walk line.
Oh, that's so good.
For the first time, her soul smiled. And
Oh.
and you and I know this, we live this, we witness this daily. Okay, but can
Mhm.
you imagine having that identity taken away from you because you loved it so much? That's a mindset piece now.
Oh
There
yeah.
was one thing I could control. That was major mindset. So of course I've gained weight. Of course I've settled through the ebbs and flows of life that has followed through over the last couple of years because emotionally, security wise, physically wise, mentally wise, everything has changed.
Yep.
Everything. What kind of person would I be if I didn't have an impact from all of that? So, not only am I a coach, just like you, I'm an accountability coach. In order for you guys to help me keep my promises to myself, hashtag run with Sonya. That's hashtag RUNWITHSONYA. And literally, guys, if you put these hashtags in Google, you'll see stuff and just start adding your hashtags to them. And let's build a community to get people started.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
I love
free.
it.
Yeah.
Well, and
Anyways,
so often, well, it's funny you say that because so often, I work with women, a lot of whom used to be athletes or really active in some form or fashion. And so anytime a 5K is brought up, 10K, a marathon, any type of race, it's automatically assumed, oh shoot, like I haven't run since before I had babies. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Who even said you had to run it? And so it's just even little things like that, that the things that we have inside of our head of what a 5K is supposed to look like, or what a workout is supposed to look like,
yes.
or what taking care of ourselves is supposed to look like. I mean, we get so caught up in the shoulds and supposed tos and things like that. It's like, man, just go get started. Go for a walk. Like go move, go do what feels good. Go dance in the kitchen
Yeah.
with your kids, like whatever it is. But yeah, I just the things that we have, these things we keep telling ourselves in our head is they're so powerful. And so if we, like you said, can control the mindset part of it, I mean, that's controlling everything, you know?
Oh, but it's not easy.
No.
And that's because we're not treating it like a muscle. We're not treating our brain like a muscle. No one's really taught us how to do this. And but your brain is a muscle. It's more and more like a muscle than it's ever been in the past, scientifically identified. So if you're doing bicep curls, why wouldn't you do like a crossword or a puzzle or have intelligent conversations about something different or read a book or write a book
Hmm.
or move your body in a different way? So we talk about this being childlike behavior, and it's exactly what Mackenzie does in terms of fun. Tell us a little bit more about how you infuse your kind of fun into your workouts, into your
Yes.
programs, into
Yeah.
your takeaways.
Yeah, so everything, like I said, I think healthy should be fun. I mean, the whole from my perspective, like me just as a person, coach aside, all that, but the whole reason I want to be the healthiest me is because I show up to life with more energy and more confidence and more fully. And to me, that's doing life in a more fun way. Like it's just being more of myself and getting to do life more fun. And so to me, that's what the whole point of getting and staying healthy is to do to show up more fully to life. And so if you are going to find some workout routine or some program and you hate it and you have to slog through it and it is not fun, of course, you're not gonna wanna stick to it. Of course, you're not gonna wanna do it, right? And so the way that I help bring the fun in is I usually get a lot of women who they usually have little kids, like, under 5 is typically when they come seek me out, which I don't have kids except for my puppy, but it's just kinda funny, but they like that style of it because I'm like, you don't have to do the traditional workout in the sense, again, that we think it's supposed to look like. You can play with your kids outside. Like I said, dance in the kitchen with them, like do that fun stuff to get your body moving again and to get started. Because the more you can incorporate that type of stuff into your day, it helps you see, like, man, my body really does feel much better when I move it, when I can do those things. And not only are you doing it for you, but you're doing it for your kids and being that example that they get to see how fun moving their body is and taking care of themselves. And so anytime that I get an opportunity to do something fun, recommend fun ideas, things like that, I have my clients, I would love for all of them to work up to where they're moving their bodies for 30 minutes every day. Obviously, not everybody's at that point. And so my mission for myself to get people to that point is to keep it fun so that you stick with it. Because again, if it's not, I mean, I don't even want to do workouts that aren't fun. So when I'm designing workouts, because I do live workouts with my group every Saturday morning, when I'm designing them, if I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm like, man, this is gonna be so hard. I don't even want to do this. I'm like, okay, I gotta change something up here because this is gonna suck if I don't.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you wouldn't know the timing of this and the serendipitous moment of this week. Okay, so a year ago, I think I stopped recording my Fusion 15, which were 15-minute workouts that I was
Mhm.
doing in this new fitness group that I was in, that I ran, but it wasn't getting me what I wanted, right? So try and figure out how it can look differently. But in the meantime, now, in order to keep myself accountable, I am now going live. Today I went live on YouTube with my fitness routine. I don't know
Mhm.
if I'm going to go live again or if I'm going to record and upload. We'll see where the views land if people get used to it. But after my bike on bike days, I am now doing a live recording or a recording on my YouTube channel, which will be in my link tree, guys. All of my socials are in my link tree. The link tree will be in the show notes. And the cool thing is, we're going to add Mackenzie's as well to these show notes. So if she's willing to share with us a couple of her links or the link to go
Yes.
where you can participate, please go in, take a look, try both of our styles out.
Yes.
And it's probably the blend of both, if not a gravitation towards one or the other. And as long as you're moving, we all win.
100%.
Like,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I'm totally with you in the variety. Cause again, me, coach aside, when I'm doing workouts, cause I source workouts from different YouTube's apps, things like that. And when I'm doing them, there are certain coaches or certain trainers that I'm like, oh, I did not like those style, or like his voice was like nails on chalkboards to me. Like, but so there are everybody vibes with different styles and different coaches and different personalities. So I'm with you that I 100%, if you can get that variety and learn from different people, you're going to open up your world to so much more movement and movement patterns. And it opens up, injury prevention, all these good things that happen down the line from that.
Well, and if you remain curious, you're going to wonder which muscle is sore, right? And then you're going to learn more about the muscle, and then you're going to learn more about the value of that muscle, and you're going to want to take care of it better with nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
And then your mindset starts to think differently because it has more energy. So everything shifts. And this is a hard selling feature right now. They're not interested right now in investing in themselves.
Yep.
They're not seeing. And when I say they, I'm saying y'all, everybody listening to this, anybody watching this, you are they. You're consuming some of the information. You're not doing anything with it yet. You're collecting, you're waiting until you're safer. I get that. We both get that. We are here to help you. Whatever it looks like, reach out. Let's have that conversation and see where you would best fit for now based on your budget. We're not going to stretch you. If it's not a match, it's not a match. There is no pressure. But without an investment, you will not be able to receive the information. There is an exchange that happens when you invest in yourself. When you physically send a transaction, you receive something back in return. So you are open to receive that. Without a transaction, that value isn't the same. This is what it's meant to say by investing in yourself. And we don't talk about it enough because if we're worried about a recession, we're worried about saving, we're going into scarcity, and this all rolls into your relationship with money. From some conscious ideas versus your conscious ideas versus your lifestyle, your inheritance, your limiting beliefs, your paradigms, to the actions that you take. This is what's left. And if you have the bandwidth to decide that day, this may or may not even happen because you almost don't care anymore because you are so depleted. Society tells you when you're in scarcity, the last thing you can do is invest in yourself.
Yeah. And I actually it's funny that you say that because we talk about invest. I mean, you and I as coaches, we talk about investing in yourself and helping our clients and just listeners, viewers invest in themselves, whether that's with us or with other people. I had one moment who I was talking with her and she was like, you know what? She was like, I finally realized, she was like, I would go to Target. And I don't know if you guys in Canada, do you guys have Targets yet?
We did have a Target.
Okay.
Well, we had more than one Target, but they're all removed. And I think they're coming back, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I was going to say, because some of my Canadian friends, I can't remember if they said it's there or it's back or what. So anyways, but Target's like you go to Target for one thing and then you come out with a cart full of stuff just because it's Target. Like that's just their vibe. And so she was telling me, she was like, I finally realized I would go to Target and I would spend $200 on everything for the kids that realistically they didn't need, but like me as a mom, I felt like I should get it for them. I would go and spend $200 on them without even thinking about it, but I won't even do a smaller investment into myself, like for the whole month to better myself and get healthy and take better care of myself so that I can show up as a better mama for my kids. And she was like, when I realized that, she was like, I went to your site right away and I signed up because right now my membership is only $89 a month. And she was just like, that's not even half a trip to Target. And I was like, yeah, but we don't think about it that way. Instead, we think about it and we're like, oh man, I don't know if I can spend that much on myself. Like I've got kids, like you said, recession, I need to do this. But when you put it in context, it makes so much sense. The value exchange, the energy exchange that you get when you spend that money on yourself, and then the trickle down effect that it has into how much better you can show up for you, for your family, for your friends, for your work, all of that stuff. And when she said that to me, I was just like, oh my gosh, like because I have realizations like this too, but it was just such a real moment that she shared with me that I was like, man, I wonder how many of us have done that exact same thing, said no to ourselves, but then went out and spent like 2, 3, 5 times as much on kids or family members or friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess that would be, again, understanding your relationship with money
Yeah.
and what kind of person you are and what your avatar is and how you can accept it, become aware of it, accept it, and then make some choices based on that, right? Does it serve you? Is it helping you reach your goals? What would you like to be different? And I do offer a quiz on this. It's on my link tree as well. It says, what is your relationship with money? It's really cool. You'll fall in one of 3 categories. I'll send you out some information, but it's becoming aware. And that's what this is all about. Aware of how fitness makes you feel, aware how your mindset makes you feel, and how there can be a downward spiral and lead you to thinking and judging in so many different areas that make you eat.
Oh, yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. It's all connected. So share with us some of your experience in that connection.
Yeah. So the main connection, and this is again my personal experience, but also I found my clients have a similar, I call them, habits are my jam. I love establishing and creating healthy habits because so much of our day is routine. And so if we can make those routines healthy and have them working for us in the background without having to expend that mental energy on them, it's a game changer. But so it's called a keystone habit, and I didn't make it up. It's a keystone habit is like the one habit in your day that if you do that, the rest of your day, the rest of your stuff just kind of, it goes easier, it goes smoother, it kind of falls into place. And for me, that is exercise. If I'm able to get 30 minutes of movement in, I eat better, I drink more water, I sleep better, I make better just decisions. I'm a happier person. I'm more fun to be around. Like I can show up with more energy. I'm nicer, to my dog probably. Like, so there's just all kinds of stuff that trickles down from that one thing. If I'm able to do that one thing, everything else goes better. And so for you, that might be, waking up and starting your day with a glass of water versus chugging 16 ounces of coffee first. Or it might be, having a healthy breakfast. It might be getting to bed at 10 p.m. so that you're set up for the next day. Whatever that keystone habit is for you, it is all connected because the way that we move, the way that we eat, the way that we think, they all, and the way that we think about money and spend money, it's all intertwined, but it's just like, which one is the one for you that makes all the difference for the rest of them?
Yeah, which one's the trigger?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is why I've incorporated the 4 pillars into my program within my group. And it's called the VIP Accountability Lounge. And it's amazing because I'm charging $22 a week, which is $88 a month. You're charging $89 a month for your group.
Yep.
And we probably do the same things. You do one tutorial once a week and then some maybe some workshops or some like little motivational things throughout the week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
I do live training, live work. Yeah. So it's,
Yeah.
very similar.
Oh my gosh. So, right. So how cool is that? And of all things, my pricing is American. So we're literally
Oh.
$1 off. And we're offering 2 different forms of information that I would challenge you to hop in the groups and make the investment. I don't know about you, Mackenzie, but I offer you can quit at any time.
Same. Yep.
So there's
Because
no
I think,
obligation.
I think if if I'm not doing my job, if I'm not doing it for you, then I'll even try to help you find someone who can. It's like I'm the whole reason that there's no minimum. You don't have to sign up for X amount of months up front. Like there's none of that. Because I'm just like, if I'm not doing my job, don't pay me.
Yeah.
So
But if you're getting any value from anything that was said, even if it was the shortest thing, like a 15-second clip or a motivational post that you now say every single day as a mantra,
Yep.
whether it becomes part of your morning routine, part of my morning routine includes listening to Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham. I listen to one of their segments in the morning, and I listen to Bob Baker's affirmations in the morning that I say as I'm getting ready. So makeup after the shower, until dressed, those two things. So sometimes it's 20 minutes, sometimes I'll choose longer ones. That's a gift to myself. I've already meditated before that. I have already worked out before that after meditation. I was just thinking for a second there where the order is. So at this point, for me, there's been like a 2-hour block of self-care. So for you, it's one non-negotiable. If I do everything in this block, my day's perfect. I am flying high. So now for me to figure out which one of those components can be missed without me losing my shit. And journaling comes in there too before I start my day, and reflections with my cards, which I've not done yet. So I'm starting to play a little bit with what can be changed because I'm starting a new job and I don't have the time to float through this throughout the day. I have to be a little bit more structured. And I'm so excited because I get to serve people in a greater capacity. I still get to show up for everybody and do this, but it completely changes the dynamics when you are doing more, spending more of your time doing the things that you love and challenging you. And I get to be social. I get to be part of the community. I no longer will be working at home. So all of these things are huge wins. Don't ever think when an opportunity shows up, I hope you're open enough to see it, big or small.
Yeah.
Big or small. It could be somebody that you weren't sure if you knew very well. You invited her to your house and your dog can't stop licking her. And your dog is your, okay, most people don't, she doesn't like most people. Like, okay, this is trusting your gut. This is when you do these non-negotiables, whether it's your 30-minute workout, whether it is a 2-hour block of time or whatever that looks like, be open to how you receive the gifts in exchange. Yeah. And see where it leads you.
Yeah, I would say, because I'm a huge gardening nerd also, I love to be out in the garden.
I raked yesterday. It was like 2 degrees Celsius, and I'm like, woohoo!
So, but when somebody, and I forget who it was, I wish I could give them credit, but they compared habits, like your daily habits, to a garden. And so if you know anything about gardening, you know, some plants need shade, some plants do better with, you know, more acidic soil, some do better with more sandy soil. Like there's all kinds of different stuff. And they compared your habits to plants in a garden, that sometimes your habits will need to essentially move across the garden. So what you previously did in the morning might need to become part of your evening routine or vice versa. And it changes with the seasons too, not necessarily the, you know, winter, spring, summer, fall, but also your seasons of life. So maybe your kids, when they're in school versus when they're home during the summer, or when they're on holiday, or you're starting a new job. And so it's a new season of your life. Things change and you can move your habits around and try them out in different places so that you can still get those things that you need from those habits. But it may not, like you were saying, you have to just be open to it potentially being somewhere else in your day. But if you that habit is still serving you and you really want to keep it, you'll figure out where it is. Just like in a garden, you'll move the plants, you'll figure out where they all need to go to work together in that garden, in the space you have.
Right? I love that. Okay. So we talked a little bit about your relationship with money and how that impacts your mindset. We talked a little bit about movement and how for you that's 30 minutes a day. Let's talk about the last topic, which is meals. Tell us a little bit about how you fuel your body.
Yeah. So I have first of all, disclaimer, I love food. I have like this inner fat girl, I call her, because I mean, my family growing up, it was all about food. Like, you know, every social gathering had food, every event had food, and I'm a food lover through and through. I even do, right now I do Sunday dinners, which is it's not quite a cheat meal because I just plan it in there, but every Sunday dinner, I'll make like a big extravagant dinner and dessert. And like, that's my jam. So I love cooking and love food. But so to fuel my body and make my body feel the best, I had to figure out what foods do help me and what foods don't help me. And this is a process. I mean, I'm 35 years old and it's still an ongoing process. But I would say over the last 5 to 10 years, I've really started paying more attention to how foods make me feel in the like 1 hour, 2 hour, 6 hour, even the next day afterwards, and trying to connect the dots, because we don't give enough credit, I think, to how food impacts us after just, okay, I'm finished with the food on my plate. And it's a much longer lasting effect. It's almost like our bodies are the hardware and the food is the software, and it kind of runs the show. It tells everything what to do from there. And so it's a process, and I don't know that any one, nutritionist or coach or meal plan can give you the exact thing you need. So I think curiosity is the best thing that you can have when it comes to approaching or figuring out food that makes you feel good. Cause it's hard, man. Food's hard because it's so good. And the good food is not always the food that makes you feel good. So yeah.
Right? But there has to be room for that. And when you create
Mhm.
space for that, you don't want it as much because it's not as much of a temptation when you allow it, when you give yourself permission. Well, is there anything else you would like to share to our audience today before we sign off?
Sorry about my dog again.
Ugh.
But no, I don't think anything else. I mean, the one thing I would say is if you are unsure, or if you think for whatever reason that that you're not up for, I'll call it a challenge of taking better care of yourself, start smaller. Start with what you can do, not with everything you think you can't do. So start with whatever the smallest thing is that will just get you started and get the ball rolling, because you need to establish the habit, whatever it is. If it's movement or the mindset work, a mantra, if it's eating a certain food, establish the habit and then begin improving it, begin iterating through figuring out what works best for you. But you got to just start, really. I mean, that's the best advice that I can give someone, is just be willing to start.
I love that. I love that. We are going to have all of Mackenzie's contact information in the show notes. If you are listening to this via podcast of some sort, there will be a link to the YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces as we are sitting here chatting with you, having coffee. And for those that did notice, it's
Yes.
Glamma, not Grandma. And Hudson will be 3 in about 6 weeks. And
Oh,
wow, I've shared so much of him socially. It's just hard to believe. I'll be 50 in July. I'm a grandma, and my parents are 75. We have 5 kids between us.
that's so
And
cool.
our story is just like, it's almost like you're talking to your future self.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how I want you to see it, because the advice we have for you today applies to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Men, women, married, divorced. We're just teaching you the tools in the toolbox that will help you become a better version of you in whatever area you're ready in. So, on that note, we are going to sign off today. Thank you so very much for showing up for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this conversation. It was so great. And hopefully you all enjoyed my dog interruptions as well.
It was wonderful. Thank you so much, Mackenzie.
Thank you.